Hey, Floss, it's Sunday, June 12th. I'm Annette, and welcome to a very lazy day here at Annette's Acre. It's been 12 days, I guess. I did one on the 1st since my last video. It's been a really hectic 12 days. As you can hear, we're all back at least in the same house. My music is back, which I'm very happy about. Last weekend was extremely busy with Phoenix Comic Con. I spent 4 days downtown in the convention center with um, tens of thousands, some say 100,000 people. So, and of course, the temperature was around 100 and anywhere from 110 to 116, depending upon where you were. I was actually in the convention center most of the time, sitting under an air conditioning vent, so I was freezing. Unlike the folks that were dressed up or were outside who were obviously hot. But a good time was had by all. Hopefully there are pictures that are kind of popping up behind me just of some of the crowds. My daughter and I did get a chance to get pictures taken with a couple of the media guests that were there. Oded Farr from the Mummy movies and Resident Evil, if you are a fan of horror movies. I am not. He was there. He was just the sweetest man, very nice. We also had our photo done with Tim Omenson, if you are familiar with Psych, or Gallivant. Great show. He was there, also very nice gentleman. I spent the weekend with James Marsters, who is from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and also reads the Dresden novels, the Dresden Files novels and the audiobooks. If you haven't listened to Dresden Files and you have any interest in either mystery or supernatural, they're very good and I highly recommend them. So that was last weekend. So needless to say, wasn't a lot of stitching going on. Of course, I went back to work on Monday. I think I remember getting up and going to the airport. It was kind of a haze. I was really tired. We had an early flight. And I did get actually worked on one piece that I started on the 2nd of June and haven't finished to show. Now you may wonder if I actually broke out the chatelaine, which the last time we spoke, that was my plan. Chatelaine is still wrapped up pretty. I didn't start it. I had so much to do on the Tuesday and Wednesday that I was home on vacation before Comic-Con started on Thursday. Actually, Wednesday night we started. I didn't have time to even put a stitch in anything, let alone starting something brand new. So that didn't get started, so it's still waiting patiently. It's in the list of imminent starts, but it hasn't made it out yet. So we'll see. Hopefully if there's a quiet weekend coming up in July, maybe, I might actually get it broken out. So on the 2nd of June, I did start a new piece. As I mentioned last time, we lost one of our puppies in May. So I picked up this small chart, Lizzie Kate, the dog's paw prints. And I pulled only threads from my stash. Originally, the plan was to basically do it as designed with one change, and that is I made the paw print gray and white because the puppy that we lost was a salt and pepper schnauzer, and the original chart has it in brown, which we don't have any brown dogs, so. But invariably, I actually pulled a bunch of different threads, did some personalization. The fabric is from Joe at Needle Arts Emporium. It's a Jobelan fabric. It's wonderfully soft. But this I'll finish as one of Vanna's probably mounted flat folds. I just have to find some fabric, which I'll be headed to the fabric store in a couple weeks with some friends. So I'll be looking for fabric to finish that. So that was essentially most of the stitching I'd done. I started it on Thursday afternoon. I started it. Thursday afternoon I started it. Then I finished it when I was in California this past week. In fact, I finished it on the plane coming home, and I happened to think in advance and threw something else in the bag to start on the plane. So this is going to be my new airplane project. For years, I've never stitched on a plane, and this one of the benefits, I suppose, of Mania is actually working out how I can do it and what kind of projects are conducive to me working on a plane. Small is the best. Simple charts. The soda stitch, as much as I love the design, the charts are just way too big to handle on a plane. So I threw in one of my Mill Hill Santas. So this is the Ireland Santa. So on the plane, I basically got my thread sorted out, so it's ready to go. And I put in a few stitches. I managed to get in a few stitches. Not very much, but that's okay. But this will now travel with me, and it'll be my plane project. So, till we get to the beads. And maybe I'll just get a tacky bob and throw it in the bag, and then we're good to go. So that's a new start for this week. Otherwise, this weekend has been pretty lazy. We're all still kind of recovering from the busyness. And I've been working on the whip that I chose for Wine and Whips, which is Teresa Wentzler's Dragon Ride. So there it is. Now, I've finished essentially all the wings and the tail. All the wings and the tail are done. And I have the dark brown of the border. It's still in the Q-snap. I was being lazy. Like I said, lazy day here at the acre. Didn't pull it out of the Q-snap. This is I've made a 6x8 Q-snap. So here's where I've been at. I've essentially working on the rider, and I'm filling in his cloak. So I've done all of this blue in here over yesterday after the large number of errands that had to be run. So I've been working on that, and then today is pretty much sitting back here and watching Netflix and with my spouse and stitching away on the over one. So that's where we're at. So he'll be my weekend home piece this weekend and next weekend. The weekend after that, I have some friends coming in out of town, and we're actually doing a stitch along, so I'll be starting a new piece with them. I'm not going to show that yet, because I probably won't do another video until the end of the month, but that's where we're at. So Mr. Dragon Ride is coming along, well, the rider right now, more than the dragon. So that's it. That's all I've been working on. Like I said, it's been a busy 12 days. So what else I pulled is I pulled some pieces off the wall to show you some of my other finishes in town, finishes in the house by Lizzie Kate. So the Lizzie Kate that I finished this week is absolutely not my first. It will not be my last. I've actually ordered another piece to start soon, but again, we'll hold that for later. But I finished a number of the larger designs, so I thought I would show those off. The first one is Cross Stitcher in Residence, which I did a few years ago. This I actually had framed at Joann's. It was one of my test framing pieces to see how they would do. They did okay. It wasn't horribly expensive. Lousy selection of frames though, so would not recommend Joann's unless if you have other options. Let me just put it that way. So. But this, I changed Floss. I just pulled from Stash and made it up, and it went very, very quickly. So that was a good one. And then I stitched this one a few years ago, about the time it came out, actually. This is one of my very favorite. It's A Good Marriage. This is one of my very favorite Lizzie Kate pieces that I've ever done. I really like the sentiment, and I just like stitching words. They go really fast, and this is one of my favorites. So I did this a few years ago. It is got glass, and it hangs here in the bedroom. As you you can imagine. The other one that I've done, and this was done in 2009, is the Halloween the bit series. So these were all the individual charts. I remember traveling with this guy. I remember taking him, I think he went to Houston. Mom and I went to the quilt show, which is fabulous if you have any interest whatsoever in quilting. Fabulous show. End of October, early November every year. Huge, absolutely huge. 2 days minimum. But I remember working on this in the hotel room in Houston. So it's a well traveled piece. I love all things Halloween. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. So this was a must. I have the second one to do as well. It's just buried in the stash. The other one that I've done, speaking of Halloween, is this is the 2012 mystery sampler that was put out in 3 parts. Again, Lizzie Kate, Halloween, absolute no-brainer for me to do it. Just like this year's. There's another one coming out this year. In fact, I think it comes this week. I think it comes out this week. This month for sure. But within the next week or so. But this is the first one. This was the first one in 2012. And it's done with the recommended fabric, Tin Bucket, which is a little darker than the cover picture shows, but still, I like it. And then all the weeks threads. I wish I'd had my thread heaven at that point, or I wish I'd realized that I needed to use it, because this piece almost made me quit stitching with weeks threads. They were very naughty. However, thread heaven, amazing stuff. Don't have a problem anymore. But yeah, so this is my my sampler from 2012. It's always handy when I put the date on there. I've done all of the 3-part mystery samplers. I showed you last week the Samsara from 2014, and then in 2000, I'm working on the Things Unseen, which is the 2015 piece. That's one of my California whips. And then when I get the new one, we'll see how long it takes for me to start it. In 2013, we had Christmas theme. It's this one. So, and again, done. I don't know if I did it with all the threads. Don't remember if I did it on the recommended fabric or not. It's Picture This Plus fabric, as is the Things Unseen. I want to say I did it on the recommended fabric. It's just, I buy a lot of, I buy the things that I put on auto ship, so send it to me as soon as it comes out. Like, for example, the Mirabilia Bewitching Pixies I have on auto ship. I get them from Dreama at Needlecraft Corner, and she usually puts together a package for these. I'm getting the new one from her as well. So it's a discount. It's all the threads, and then you can choose to include fabric or not. I usually do for these because it's a hand dyed and it just works. And then she just sends me the pieces when they come out, which is very handy. Very handy. They just magically show up in my mailbox, which makes me very happy. So, and it's a nice surprise. So yeah. So those are the Lizzie Kates that I currently have hanging in different areas of the house. And yes, I have Christmas and Halloween pieces hanging in my house year round. I don't take them down. I don't put them away. There's only one piece of needlework that I have for Christmas that doesn't stay out, other than ornaments, of course. Christmas ornaments get packed away. But there's one other piece that gets put away when we pack up. So when we get closer to Christmas, I'll include that particular piece as well as many of the ornaments that I have either stitched or received. so you can see that. But for the most part, are you kidding? You spend enough money and time on these pieces. I am not putting them in the closet for 11 months out of the year. It is not happening. Huh. So there's current whips, some old finishes, little bit of stash. So if you want to see the stash that I have, there isn't that much. Great. If you don't, I hope you have a great day and week and stitch all the things. And sorry, there's not much going on this week. Okay, stash wise, came home to a number of packages this week. Got a piece of fabric by LJ, nice lemon yellow. Honeysuckle yellow, I should say. Honeysuckle lemon. Really pretty colors. I also got some floss from LJ. 123 Stitch sent me an envelope. Again, charts don't travel alone, so I picked up the May and the August snapshots. So I'll work on getting the whole year just as they either go on sale or if I need a traveling companion for something else that I'm buying, I'll just pick one up. Stony Creek's monthly pattern came in the mail, so this is for June. And then in addition to that, its traveling companion was 2 packs of perforated paper. So these are for the Brooks Books Angels that I got last month, I think, from her 50% off sale. So now I have the paper to do them eventually, someday, whenever the mood strikes. And then the last thing was I got my very first Stitchy box. And I have to say, very happy with what came in the Stitchy box. Beautiful piece of green velvet for finishing. I got the detail one, so it's got the finer count fabric. So this is 36 count espresso linen from R&R. It's a little yellower than what you're seeing. A piece of 40 count chine from Picture This Plus. I really need to find something to put on yellow fabric. I seem to have quite a bit of it lately. I got some threads. Gloriana, which I love Gloriana, and some Belle Soie, which is lovely. Gentle Arts, Weeks. These will find fellow compatriots in the stash already. This is, however, new. Ship's Manor. I don't have any Ship's Manor threads, so that'll be a nice addition. What? And then the last, just a few beads. So that's it. That's all we got. So it's short and sweet. Hope you're having a great day, and stitch all the things, and I'll see you at the end of the month.